Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk, guys. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Good morning, and I hope you have a fantastic day out there. Have a good day, my friends. You know, the last couple weeks or so, we've been talking a lot about going back to capping, setting conditions for cap, how that works, all that stuff. Got another great example here from the enemy team's perspective. If you are going to cap, and this is an encounter mode, by the way, here on Lakeville, so this is more cap-centric, I guess you might say, than a standard battle. Most of these maps tend to have the fight kind of goes around the cap. Not necessarily all of them, but there's only one cap to deal with. So the whole go-back thing isn't really a player on this one. But setting the conditions for the cap and recognizing what you might have to do to get a cap done is really important. We're going to see this enemy team have an interesting decision that they make. I'm middle tier in a tier 8 battle, but we have 6s and 7s to beat up in, and I'm in this ridiculously overpowered Cheeto SP, which is a fun little casemate TD. We'll go ahead and get started, and we'll talk about it as we go. So we've got an IS-6, a 122 TM, and a Charioteer top tier. They've got a TS-54, STA-2, and Kanonenpanzer. So kind of a similar setup. I mean, the 122 TM thing is a little heavier, I guess, especially in the turret, than say an STA-2, but the two heavies are, I'll say they're roughly equivalent. I mean, I know a lot of people are probably going to say, Guido, the TS-54 is way better. Noted, probably. But a well-played IS-6 is no slouch in this particular game. There's no 9s, and there's no real super overpowered tier 8s that it has to deal with. Now, the first thing we're going to look at here is the deployment, and I'm getting concerned when I see what's happening here. You can tell that we've got the 122 TM is headed over to the Valley. Remember, this is encounter. I'm not a fan of Valley overall anyway. I'm really not a fan of Valley on encounter. If they sent a lot of people and he's able to do some damage, then great. And we'll have to wait and watch the game progress to see what happens with that. But one of our heavies is off in the corner. The IS-6 doesn't appear to be moving yet. The Charioteer's lost half his hit points. So I basically, I don't have any help. It's me and some 7s, and that's it. Okay, so this is looking a little grim. So I know right away, for the town fight, provided they send a lot of guys, and it looks like they're sending at least their T-29 and ARL at the moment, I'm going to have to be careful. This is going to be a much more, I don't want to say passive, but careful attempt right here. Pretty quickly I get into it with this AMX, and I make some bad shots, and unfortunately he gets away. Coffee's nice. All right, check out the 122. He's not seeing anything over there. Like, there's nobody there. Our Firefly drives in for some reason, and like a moth to the flame. Now I'm having trouble here seeing this guy. He slaps me. That hurts. Lose my engine. I actually thought I fixed it. I'm going to go on for a while. Then a crit, no damage. That's no good. He's got some decent angles. Look how fast this thing reloads. Another bad decision where I don't poke out enough to get a shot. So this ARL is alive and should not be. Mostly based on my poor attempts to shot him right there. The 122 isn't seeing anything. We have an ARL and a Pollack back there helping him. I'm going to try to kill this guy here. And we finally get him dead. Alright. Honestly, I thought I'd fix my engine. This is a long time for me to miss the fact that I have an engine down. There we go. I finally see it. I wanted to push forward and maybe start punishing these guys, and then I realized that there's a Cromwell back there, and then I realized there's an Excalibur back there, so I can't go out there for very long anyway and take a bunch of shots from both the Cromwell and Excalibur. They're going to machine gun me down. Notice nothing's really developed over on the west side in the valley. The Tiger just sort of YOLOs in for some unknown reason. Mayor Miller is now out of the game. And this is not looking good, fellas, if we take a look at this. So the enemy team, look how many purples are in the town. And they've got the TS-54, they've got the T-29, a couple other 6s and 7s. We haven't seen the STA-2 or the Kanonen. I don't expect the Kanonen to come in. Might do. If he does, we're in trouble, because that's a really fast, nimble, fast reload, hard-hitting gun in there. And now, they don't necessarily know we don't have a lot, but they certainly haven't seen us bring a lot in here. We'll let this continue to go. Finally, the IS-6, I see him motating slowly. The M6 pokes, gets slapped. And despite me saying I need to be careful, we're already down. I'm less than half hit points. The M6 is nearly dead. T25/2's got a nice gun. T78's got a nice gun, but neither one of them are very sustainable, I guess, in terms of hit points and armor. All right, I'm seeing the 122 make a move. The enemy team is on the cap, and the IS-6 just drives in. IS-6 just drives in. I think the enemy team can be excused a little bit for not pushing us initially because they really hadn't seen where the IS-6 was. I don't know if the 122's been seen. There is nobody over there that they've seen anyway, so if he was spotted, it was by somebody that he did not then see. So you do want to be careful if you're the enemy team and not push into a trap. At the same time, they have to start looking at this and go, well, there's the IS-6. Once we kill him, I wonder what's over here in the town. So they're trying to cap, essentially, right? You want to set the conditions for the cap. But you've also got to ask yourself, where are the enemy tanks? Now, the 3601's there, and he has to have seen then the 122. So right here, the enemy team has a lot of great information. They know where the charioteer is. He's taking hits. They saw him. He's sitting in the middle. They know the 122's in the middle. They might even know the Pollack if he's poked up and over, and potentially the ARL. So one of our 8s is over there doing basically nothing. One of our 8s is in the middle. The other 8 just died, right? And they've killed multiple guys in the town. A Tiger, a Firefly, an E8. They saw me. They saw the M6. I think they saw the 25 too. But at this point, especially with the Tier 8 and the Tier 7 T29, they need to set the conditions for this cap instead of sitting on it and letting us poke and peek and take shots. Plus, we have an artillery, and that's going to hurt them. Now, on our part, on my side, I've got to be careful. I don't want to push in. I've only got 400 hit points to give. I'm a double tap from being out of the game. I see the T29 push down, and I figured this is an opportunity. That was huge, killing the TS-54. Between me and the T-78, we should be able to get in here and hurt this T-29, maybe even kill him. So a little teamwork. Look how fast this thing reloads. I'm hoping he doesn't pen me. He does. Unfortunate. I do notice the engine that time, get it fixed. I was either going to kill him or the T-78 was, so we get in there and we teamwork this guy down. The enemy team has to get in here and get rid of us. Now, I'm really low on hit points. The M6 is low. It's just a T-78 and a T-25, but they're going to turtle up and they're going to attempt to cap. And what's interesting here is the Firefly's not on the cap, and I didn't know who it was, but we're going to find out who it was. It referenced my discussion earlier about the TD that has a great gun. There's the STA-2 messing around in the middle. And honestly, set the conditions. In this case, with the purple team, with what they know about this fight, the charioteer in the middle, these guys over here messing with 3 tanks. There's only 3 or 4 tanks in the town, and they have an overmatch over here. And honestly, they just need to get in here and take us out. Push us, kill us off, then they can deal with the guy in the middle, or the guys in the middle. Then they can turn and either wait for the 122 and those guys to push in and kill them as they push in. But right now, they're setting themselves up to get sandwiched. You got to set the conditions if you're going to cap. You just can't sit on cap in bad situations like this. This is actually great right here. I get this E25. I'm going to miss him because he stops. I actually hit the gun, I think. Their TD goes off the edge, killing off the charioteer. I hit this guy once. He starts moving. I look for lead fire, and I'm like, well, he's dark, but let's just time it right here. Ooh, you didn't see hit the ground, and it actually did hit him. So I got 2 hits off of that guy right there, but we didn't quite kill him off. Now they've got 3, and so they're just trying to cap. Got to set the conditions, guys, if you're going to cap. Whether it's pushing into it because you won your flank, you're trying to steal a win, whatever. I guess steal a win doesn't really count in that case. Stealing a win is more, I'm just going to hunker down because I have so few tanks I can't do anything about it. But they're just letting us pick them apart right here, sitting on cap. And honestly, a while ago, if they'd have just pushed us and cleaned us out of the city, it would have been all over. So we've survived long enough, and here comes the 122 and the Pollack. They do have 3 on cap. The other key about it being encounter, fellas, is the cap is much slower. So it's much, much harder to steal a cap win in encounter. And the T6 actually, or M6, sorry, actually does a nice job. He eats that shot, but he's left with 7 hit points, and he's able to kill the 25/2. And what looked like a sure loss based on the situation Honestly, if it was me and my team, I would hope that they would push in and clean us up, but they did not. Because it's because it's encounter and it takes so long to cap, this allows me to futz around back here. So I'm just going to come over here. We're going to farm this guy and get rid of him. Cromwell sees him. The Cromwell's taking on the E25. I'll help him if I have to. Just kill him off first. There we go. Cromwell kills the E25, and now we're even in better shape. The 122 is coming slowly. It's unfortunate the Pollack and the ARL are sitting on the corner, but we have multiple crossfires from the road, which is nice. We'll come over here and see if we can't start tracking these guys down. Kind of curious where the Excalibur is. I don't want to walk around this corner and have him sitting right there where I like to sit, right on the corner of that building. Or potentially the Cromwell. Our Cromwell dies. Oh, good, there's theirs. He's looking the wrong way, so I'm just going to push on in here and hope I can get my gun online. Maybe he doesn't notice me, or he notices me too late. Nice, we get rid of him. Oh, look at that. There's the KPZ. He may have been lit slightly earlier. I guess he was probably because he lost hit points. Great gun, just sat there in the corner. He may have had some shots across there at some point, but sitting in there trying to cap. And this is just a great example, guys, of a situation where the enemy team just did not have the conditions to cap. It just wasn't going to work with the way they had it set up. And I think it very well could have if they'd have just pushed into us and killed us off in the city. And look for those opportunities if you're the purple team. If you're looking at the setup, you're looking at the match as it flows, you notice 3 of their tanks are over there fighting one of yours. You've already crushed 3 or 4 of them in the city. You have a nice overmatch here. All you have to do is get a bit aggressive, kill off some near-deads, and then work on the guys with hit points. You've cleaned out the city, and then it's a much harder ask for the enemy team to push into the city and take you off the cap. They just left way too much. Way too many of us alive. And they got punished for it, right? We kept poking and prodding. Eventually, the 3 guys that went around the long way. I'm just going to do this to light that guy. I want to know where he is. Eventually, they win through, which was more of a drive than anything. I think they only killed 1 tank over there, maybe 2. There's the Excalibur. All right, that's good. Excalibur's down low. KPZ dies. This is going to allow me to get in here and get a shot on the Excalibur. Where is this guy? Oh, there he is. Probably should have gone for the track right there, but I just took the more sure shot. He's going to sneak away. Gets hit once, he gets rammed. Yeah, there we go. And that's it. There you go. An easily won game by the purples. Thrown away by not setting the conditions for the cap and attempting to just sit on it and cap it out. Much more difficult on encounter, guys. There's an argument if that was a standard game that would have been probably enough to cap it out. That many tanks on cap and not very many of us. Even if we come around and get some shots, we're probably forced to take some worse pokes than we were in an encounter because the timer's going to be going faster. We probably lose that, but it's encounter. So we have a lot more time to mess around, peek and poke. We got an artillery that can reset, and he did multiple times. Good on him. That was just not a recipe for winning the game right there. That's all I've got for today. Have a good one. We will see ya.